This is an Audio Wool original.
This episode of Frightday is brought to you by Gates of Hell Chipotle Hot Sauce by Frightday. Bold chipotle flavor blended with habanero peppers for just the right burn. Kissed with garlic and passion fruit. Zero human blood, like none at all. Visit shop.frightday.com before the first batch disappears.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. If you'd like to support us, go to patreon.com/frightday.
Oh no, is this going to upset me?
No, I don't think this is going to upset you. So I left Buffalo at 3 a.m., took an Uber to the airport.
Oh my lord.
My Uber driver, interesting character. I told him why I was in town. I was at a film shoot, and then I have this podcast. And this is the conversation I got.
We go back to Area 51, that Poser, or whatever his name, said it was a flying saucer. Then he turns around later that day, said it was a weather balloon. Bull crap. He knew what it was. Those soldiers are trained, and on top of that, on his deathbed, he said it was real. This stuff is real.
Roswell?
Talking about Roswell.
I agree with you that I think he saw something and was told something else that he needed to say. But I think it could have been some military technology, something like that,
Nope.
that he wasn't allowed to talk about.
You're fucking wrong.
But I agree. It wasn't.
Where did Dev repost this?
I don't think.
I don't know.
That was their excuse.
Maybe on the podcast channel?
I think that's.
But even one of the biggest sightings ever seen was in Arizona.
Uh-huh.
Did you say here the episode numbers to listen to?
No, I should have. I really should have. But
That guy would have been a lifelong listener.
he goes on for 10 minutes.
Send him a message.
I guess I could look up his name from Uber. But I'm also at the same time nervous. My other driver, when I got in the car, she was listening to anti-vax right-wing extremist talk radio. So, the folks at Buffalo, man. At least the drivers.
Wow.
It is Frightday. I'm your host, Byron. And the benefits of a plant-based diet are substantial and many. It's more sustainable, high in nutrients, and may even protect against certain cancers. However, for most folks, dabbling into life-taking for nourishment doesn't spiral into an out-of-control, witchy, euphoric bloodlust. We'll talk about all of that tonight as we review the Adams family's Hellbender. I'm joined tonight by Kelly.
Oh, that is funny. I didn't even think it is the Adams family.
And Sam can't make it because he's investigating a potential mountain lion attack.
Oh, he is, yeah.
Yeah, so I gotta tell ya, flew in from Buffalo, and boy, are my arms tired. That actually got you.
It was pretty good.
I half expected to be on the porch already because it's nice outside.
It's getting close.
All
I mean,
the snow melted.
it might be next week. I was actually looking at
No,
the temperature.
Let's not. Okay.
Hold on. No, next week it's Wednesday when we record
Well, I guess
midday.
it's actually. Well, you think we're.
If we record midday on Wednesday.
Can we not? I just don't want.
No, it's going to be 21.
Good.
We won't do that.
It's too cold to be outside. I don't want
Maybe
birds
when you get
chirping,
back.
snowplows beeping as they come.
Oh, love it.
Well, maybe when you get back too.
Yeah, we're all.
I don't know when this is coming out, but we're going to be doing
Sometime.
some other stuff. I'm heading
Yep.
to Austin. You're heading to DC.
Going
for
to
the
DC.
protest, of course.
Did I tell you about my mom's really fun idea?
What would that be?
So I've told you about how in Disney World we do hidden Mickeys, like little Mickey
little
Mouses
gold
that are
Mickeys, right?
No, not even gold. It's like abstract. They're like hidden in different design patterns,
Oh,
and some of them
sure.
are giant, some of them are tiny.
Most of them are racist.
Mickey? No,
Yeah,
Mickey's not
Mickey's
racist.
a racist
No,
guy.
Mickey's not a racist at
Well,
all.
he is.
Oh no, he's not a racist.
He's the steamboat captain.
No, he's not a racist. My mom suggested that we do the same thing, but we look for Freemason symbols everywhere we go.
Oh, in DC.
So I'm going to take pictures of all the Freemason symbols I can
The
find.
thing is, you're going to be too busy filling up that big truck with gasoline.
That is true.
Honking.
Yeah, they spend so much time idling.
Yeah,
Like, how are they that rich?
they're not. That's the sad thing.
Those things, I can't even
Listen,
fathom.
You can't fathom driving a big old truck across this country in a big old convoy?
Who's funding?
The opposite of Soros. I don't know who that would be. It's okay.
Koch
think
brothers?
hopefully that's...
There's only one alive, right?
I think so currently. The Koch brother, yeah. But I think that's probably going to be all done by the time you get down there, maybe. Oh, who knows? But
Yeah, by the way, I mean, you more than anybody would be able to give me a timeline end on that.
I'm sorry, I've been MIA. I was living the life in Buffalo, New York. I was on the set of Brandon's film. Looks spectacular.
Beautiful.
He walked me through the plot. This thing is going to be a...
You're going to spoil it now?
Of course. Act
Spoiler?
1, Scene 1. He's got the pages right. I would never.
You would never?
I would never do that.
I think you would.
While I was there, though, I caught up on some... Well, maybe we should... What's going on over there?
Sorry, just listen to some Andrew Jenks. Sorry, didn't mean
I don't
to.
know who that is.
You don't know who Andrew Jenks
Doesn't
is?
matter. I watched a movie that I think you might enjoy.
Ooh, what is it?
It's not a staff pick, or else I'd play the music right now. The 2002 film Scooby-Doo.
I've seen every Scooby-Doo movie that's ever been released.
I just thought you'd be proud of me. Matthew Lillard, Freddie Prinze Jr., Sarah Michelle Gellar, Linda
Is that
Cardellini.
2002?
2002. It's got a Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson's in
Yeah,
there.
I know.
Hila Fisher. It's Mary Jane.
Yep, it's pretty good.
I don't know why we watched it. We also watched I Am Sam for some reason. Our friend is weird.
But wait, why those? I would imagine he'd be like, "Hey, you got to see this."
The guy who you turn to for Oscar predictions and
do.
must-see films at the end of every year.
I do.
Made me watch Scooby-Doo.
That's weird.
Yeah, but it's not that bad. It was fine.
I mean, it is. It's actually a pretty fun movie, but it just seems odd given all the
You're
options.
You're telling me, Kelly.
Okay.
But I guess I got a quick genre break while I was over in Buffalo, New York, talking to conspiracy theorists, driving me around in Ubers. That was kind of interesting.
That is really fun. I still am mad.
Unexpected.
You have contact info. You can get him our link, right?
I mean, I guess I could send him a quick message on Uber. I wonder if you can do that late. He was a fun guy talking all about aliens.
I love it. Byron, you're going to be really proud of me because I was listening to some of your stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I learned
I guess
something.
that's what I was saying is didn't have time. I fell behind on all the craziness that's going on in the world right now.
This is very old, so it's not like I'm on top of it. But I am sure you mentioned this to me some point, but I have zero recollection of this. And I was listening to this show, I guess just backing up a little bit. I went through this rabbit hole. Have you heard of the Trojan horse letter?
No, I don't think I have.
Okay, so it's a New York Times podcast, and it's about this letter that was sent to a school district in England in 2014, and it was like this crazy Islamophobia thing that
Late 2013.
spun out of control. It's a really interesting investigative report. It's this Pakistani British doctor who's decided to become a journalist, and he manages to get the guy who made S-Town on board, and the two of them go around and do this.
Oh, cool.
It was so good. It was great.
They compare it to the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was fascinating. It was really, really interesting. Really good podcast. And then I was painting my closet, and so I
what
just
color?
white.
Oh.
Yeah.
Boring.
This brown color that's been every inch of our house forever. I'm like slowly covering
see.
it.
Yeah.
But I had to take all the clothes out, hang up plastic, and then I had to paint.
You're
and then I had
talking
to
about
wait,
your very
and then I had to paint, and then I put it back in.
large
So it was a long
walk-in closet.
It was I was hiding in there for most of the day today. So when that was over, then I listened to this really interesting podcast called Love Thy Neighbor.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I only got the first 3 episodes because the rest of them are still behind a paywall, and I was actually not opposed to paying for it. My hands were just literally busy, and I had to tell Siri to play something else for me. So this is about 4
days in Crown Heights that changed New York.
this crazy riot/war. I mean, it's much more complex than this, but primarily between Hasidic Jews who lived there and Caribbean Americans who had immigrated. And there was this accident that happened, and it, anyhow, also very, very fascinating.
Sure.
But I got through the first 3 episodes of that, and I was like, oh, this Andrew Jenks, he does Gangster Capitalism, which is
one of your new
I really love it.
favorites. Yeah.
And he has this other show called What Really Happened. And so I started playing the What Really Happened episodes. And the first 2 were on Jeffrey Epstein. I was like, I can't hear any more about Epstein right now. So I went to episode 3, which was the QAnon mob murder.
Anthony Camello raised eyebrows as he appeared before a judge for the first time today. He had the words MAGA forever and United We Stand scribbled on the palm of his hand, which he flashed at cameras in the courtroom. The 24-year-old was arrested over the weekend, a couple of days after police say he intentionally crashed into Callie's SUV with the truck, then gunned down the reputed boss of the Gambino crime family. A motive is still a little unclear, but this does not look like a mafia hit.
That was a really interesting case. Yeah.
And I was like, wait a second, because I remember the mob guy getting killed. I remember nothing about the Q connection to it. And I was like, Byron's going to be so mad at me because I know that he mentioned this. He must have told me about this at some point.
Anthony Camello, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what? And he's like writing it on his hand in the courtroom?
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
What?
Really fun
and they
dude.
used it as his defense?
What are you going to do? I believe actually Travis Viewer from QAnon Anonymous was some sort of witness in
They
this.
interviewed him in the episode.
Pretty interesting.
Super interesting.
Don't touch
I'm
my
sorry.
mic. Don't touch my mic.
Sorry. It was super
Jesus.
interesting.
Well,
So yeah, I kind of...
you probably know more about that than I do at this point.
It was only a one episode thing, and
Oh,
it wasn't
sure,
like a whole
sure,
series on it. It's just a one off. But yeah, I think you would like this podcast. There's an episode on Nexium, Billionaires Murder, Barry and Honey Sherman, Lift Ride from Hell. He's got one on Jussie Smollett, The Heiress, before The Heiress became super famous. He was ahead of the game on that. I mean, there's like an episode on Kanye.
Oh, don't get me started. I bought 35 stem players thinking it'd be a hot commodity.
What's a stem play?
It's the only way you can listen to Donda 2, the new album from Kanye West.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's a bad investment. But, I mean, it seems like you spent your closet painting time pretty well this week.
Yeah, I did. I felt pretty darn good about it, actually.
How do you feel
And I've
about...
been playing a lot of Wordle.
Okay, well, how do you feel about going back to work?
I mean, okay.
Because these DVD copies of Without a Paddle, starring Matthew Lillard, aren't going to put themselves away. It's time for staff picks.
They say so much, but they never tell you if it's any good.
Werewolf movie with E.T.'s mom in it.
The Howling, horror, straight ahead.
So because I feel like this is a conversation we would have in the movie rental store as well,
Okay.
do you think Jack White is a good guitarist, yes or no?
No, I guess.
Really?
Yeah, I don't
Sam and I got in a fucking fight about it today.
Oh, no. Were you watching Does This Get Loud?
Actually, it started because
Is that the name of that movie?
I saw some video that had The Edge and Jack White watching Jimmy Page play guitar.
It Might Get Loud. It's the name of that movie.
Okay, so I saw some clip from it.
Yeah.
And actually, Jimmy Page in that clip, which was like 15 years ago,
Why are we
looks
talking about
like
this?
one of my friend's husbands. And I was like, I sent her a message, was like, you guys should get all the free shit because he looks like Jimmy Page, or at least like Jimmy Page did 15 years ago. Then I was talking about how much I love Jack White, and Sam was like, God,
You
he's
love
so
Jack
overrated.
White?
I love Jack White.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anything about him as a human. I really love his music.
Weird. Okay. I saw him play at South by Southwest once. He's fine.
Yeah, I saw him play too at Sam Squatch.
Sasquatch Music Festival, of course.
Saw everybody there.
Do I think he's like a talented musician? I mean, more
You
so
really
than
don't think
some,
so.
but not compared to a
You don't
lot
think
of people.
he's incredible. Like, you don't think he's,
No.
oh my God, amazing.
No.
Well, I think he's, oh my God, amazing. And then we fell down the rabbit hole talking about Tom Morello. He's like, yeah, it's like Tom Morello. I'm like, are you fucking kidding
You're
me?
a freak, Kelly. You have really bad taste.
I probably
You have
do.
the worst taste.
I probably do.
That's okay.
I still like them both muchly.
You like fucking corny dudes.
I mean, I like their music.
That's just as bad, but it's okay. It's
like-
fine, Kelly.
I like their music.
It's okay. What kind of movies do you like? Weird episodes so far.
I mean,
I just,
like
you know what this is?
scary
It's because we
movies.
haven't seen each other in a while. This is nice. We're catching up a
know,
bit.
I know.
Do you want me to start?
I like scary movies.
All right. What kind of scary movies? Witchy ones?
I wanted to do family focus rather than witchy witch. Are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
doing? Are you doing?
I got a
witchy
witch one.
witch?
Yeah.
All right, you go witch. I go family.
Well, I haven't been yelled at in a bit.
Here we go.
How do you feel about Robert B. Cummings' Lords of Salem?
Is everything all right?
No.
The curse, the Lords of Salem, possessing the souls of the Salem women, which the devil's child would inherit the earth.
Satan, come to us.
Actually, it's the only one I don't hate.
Yeah?
You remember that picture I got of Creature, where she looked almost identical?
She was almost pulling a Sherry Moon Zombie.
Yep.
Speaking of, a radio DJ in Salem, Massachusetts, played by Sherry Moon Zombie, is plagued by nightmarish visions of vengeful witches after she plays a record by a mysterious group known only as the Lords. This movie's super fun. The first time I watched it, I projected it onto a sheet in a field in McKoy Farm.
Yeah.
No one showed up. It was just me and
I
my
would've
pal
shown up.
Dennis.
I would've
you-
come.
I'm sure you were invited, but you were.
I doubt it.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
Sorry, but it was really a nice way to watch that movie. I think it's the most underrated Rob Zombie film. It's a slow burn, which is not really what he's known for, and I like that he kind of went out of his comfort zone with this. It's also the most restrained Sherry Moon Zombie performance.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and rephrase that for you.
Okay.
The least make me want to fly to wherever she is and cut out her vocal cords so I never have to listen to her recite another line.
So it's kind of like Sherry Moon is to you the same as Tom Morello is to me.
Yeah. You really hate him that much?
He's not good. Well, you really hate her that much?
What? Okay, but she's really annoying. What do you not like about him?
His music is fucking cheesy as hell.
But he's really nice.
He is nice, and I think politically we probably align, but I just think his shtick is not really my vibe. Yeah. This movie, however, Sherry kind of carries this thing too. But yeah, I think she did a great job in this. Jeff Daniel Phillips, the John 6 score is one of my favorites, so much so that it may be the Byron Serial Corner theme in the background of that.
Maybe.
Just might be. We got legends like Dee Wallace, Mick Foster, Ken Foray. You just said the two that I said?
Well, I was just making sure that you could make both of us sound smart by both of us having it recorded
I do
both
appreciate
ways.
that.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, that's how it usually works.
Yep, it is.
And it's Sid Haig, of course. But yeah, I like this movie a lot. And I really do want to revisit it because I think I've only seen it once. I think it's a pretty cool little flick.
It was hard because I felt like there were a couple of different directions, but what I spent most of my time trying to find and was unable to find is another family that makes horror movies together, because I think that's like the coolest fucking thing ever.
I mean, the Vicious Brothers, they weren't even brothers, though. They don't even go by that anymore.
What do they go by?
I think they've separated.
Uh-oh.
Colin Minahan and Stuart Ortiz, of course, the folks behind Grave Encounters, but I don't know what they do now. Oh, I mean, it looks like Colin Minahan is actually doing an urban legend reboot.
Really?
That's kind of fun. It does appear like Colin Minahan has taken the lead in terms of directing since Extraterrestrial. Remember, he did Stains the Sands Red, What Keeps You Alive. The Spiral that you liked more than
anyone,
because you accidentally watched it instead of the Chris Rock one. But yeah, I don't know. Families that make films, I'm sure there's great examples of it.
Well, here's what instead of that, I did one about family secrets.
Okay.
And this is one that I watched, one of the Video Nasties, actually. I watched it when I was in my late teens. Guarantee you I paid attention to almost none of it.
Well, yeah.
But it's been on my list of this is what I really, really need to rewatch. It's an important one. It actually takes place in the Pacific Northwest. I love movies that take place in the Pacific Northwest. It's called Unhinged.
It began as an idyllic weekend outing, but something went wrong. Stranded, alone, or are they?
Man, something really weird is going on around here.
I don't think I know that one.
Don't look anything up about it, because if you look anything up about it...
See, I thought it was the 2020 Russell Crowe one. Because
No,
I did see
82.
that. Yeah.
82. If you look it up, it's frequently compared to another horror movie, which will then completely ruin the Shyamalan for you.
Okay.
But it was very low budge, and it was filmed in Portland, Oregon.
So there's no synopsis that you're willing to provide?
Well, I'm going to say that it's about 3 young women.
Okay.
There's a car accident.
Dang.
And they are taken in by this family in this mansion in rural Pacific Northwest, so outside of Portland, obviously not in Portland. Then they are stalked by a violent murderer.
I like that. That sounds fun.
It deals with some themes that I'm sure. I'm just gonna zip it. I don't want to ruin anything more.
Is this something that you revisited, or you just?
No, I'm going to.
Okay.
But when I was reading about it, it's funny, and this is why I jumped on Sasquatch so quickly. The premise is that these 3 girls, they're college friends, and they're going to a music festival in Washington.
Oh, okay.
Which is interesting because, first of all...
Sasquatch, for folks who don't know, is a music festival.
Well, it was.
Did they quit doing it?
Oh, they quit doing it like 12 years ago?
In the city of Seattle.
It was actually in George Washington. halfway between Seattle and
Sasquatch took
Spokane.
place in Seattle. At
No,
some
I
points.
promise you, I went to
All of
9
them?
out of 12.
What's the
of
one
them.
I'm thinking of? What's the other festival in Seattle? Bumbershoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Darn
not
it.
Sasquatch.
Darn it.
Sasquatch, I went to all of them, and it was not.
Shoot.
It was at George, at the Gorge.
You are correct.
George at the Gorge. But they were going to a music festival in rural Washington, and I was like, wait a second. There were music festivals in rural Washington in 1982?
Come on now.
I mean, I didn't know that. I thought there was pretty much like Woodstock, and then Woodstock 99, and then Sasquatch.
Woodstock 99 with Limp Bizkit and all the boys
And
hanging
then
out.
that one down in, California that is all flat. You can't see anything.
Coachella?
Yeah, that one.
It's in a valley, Kelly.
Yeah, but it's a flat area. You can't see, like
Most festivals take, well, I guess I was going to say, but
Sasquatch.
the Gorge is very hilly.
Very tiered.
Stop it. Quit doing that. This is why I hate these mic stands.
These mic stands I don't like for
I'm
other
going to make you
reasons.
come to the real studio one of these days. When we get back, we're not going outside. We're going to the
We're going
real
outside.
studio.
I love the outside.
You want to go outside, but I want to take a peek in the back room because it's where we do the ceremony, where we welcome and initiate some new members of the Frightday Society, of course. Abby S. Now, Abby's a good friend of the show.
Yes.
She's written so many great articles at Frightday.com.
She's incredible.
And she's now an official member of the Frightday Society.
Oh, boy. I mean, she's a really good writer. Do you think maybe she'll help me do research?
I mean, maybe she'll write some notes for you.
I would love some notes. Please, Abby.
And oddly enough, I didn't do this on purpose. I'd like to welcome and initiate Jacob S.
Oh, well, I know what Jacob's initiation is.
Also, a pretty talented writer for Frightday.com.
Uh-huh. Jacob, I would like you to please put together a dissertation.
No, please.
Short one, like 12 pages. Short one. On everything wrong with the scary of 61st.
Well, it's going to be short. He's just going to say the same words, like a Bart Simpson essay or something. Just repeat the same thing.
No, I feel like he's probably come around now.
I don't think that's true. I think he actually got like a special edition of it.
Yeah.
Loves it. Bragging about it.
Yeah, well, he's got good opinions on a few things, just not very many. He's still a nice guy, though. Hey, Jacob, we're putting the kid in a summer camp for skateboarding. Maybe you can send us some tips.
You're saying that because of his kickflip of the day thing. He's
Yeah.
doing. Yeah, it's great.
He's really good with the boards.
I
am not.
Thank you guys so much. If you want to join the Frightday Society, it's pretty easy. Cult.frightday.com. Go there. Do that, and we'll be welcoming you very soon. You get a bunch of stuff, by the way.
The coolest stuff.
Speaking of cool, I don't know.
You don't know what?
I don't know how to segue into the next part of the show.
Well, I think we should just talk about for everybody who's watched it.
We got to play the music, and then I got to do my opening.
Yeah.
It's time to talk Hellbender.
Yeah.
We hope you're enjoying your visit here this evening. Now, on with the show.
Hellbender is a 2022 American horror film written and directed by Toby Poser, John Adams, and Zelda Adams. What's up? What's wrong?
I just realized what I should have done for my staff pick.
What would it be?
Do you remember that it was like a pseudo horror movie cartoon that we got to have access to last year? Borderline anime, but not quite anime.
No. What? What are you talking about?
It was about a witch, band, cartoon. Yeah, you just pulled up the Hex Girls from Scooby-Doo. No, I'm not talking about the Hex Girls. That's all right. Just keep going.
No,
I'll find it.
No,
I'll
we're
throw it
not.
in
That's not
later.
how that works. I'll give you a second.
2021. Yep, there we go. Yes. Earwig and the Witch.
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Be real quick.
It was a Netflix animated. Nope, it wasn't Netflix. I lied about that.
Is that what it is, though?
Yeah, Earwig and the Witch. Earwig and the Witch was a Japanese animation fantasy film, but it was obviously about witches. And it had a plot about a woman who played in a rock band and then had a daughter.
Okay, so...
And she was a witch.
Wow.
But then the rest of it takes a very different turn. Oh, by the way, spoiler.
Huh, cool. Great work. You're nailing it. Glad I came back.
I just remembered that nobody knows that they're witches for a while, so never mind.
Are we cutting that? No one else is watching this bullshit cartoon. This is a horror program.
Well, no, but I just said it's the reason I picked it, because it was about a witch who has a daughter.
No one cares about the spoiler for it.
I'm talking about the spoiler for the movie we watched tonight.
No, everyone knows they're witches.
Does everybody know they're witches?
I think it's pretty obvious.
I don't know. I thought they might be werewolves. I thought they could be vampires.
Fuck out of my face.
You didn't think they could be vampires or werewolves? I didn't know.
Okay.
I thought they could be witches.
Get it on the rails here.
Okay. Well, there you go. Earwig and the Witch. Check it out. Pretty
Not
fun.
bad.
Actually, the girls liked it.
The show's not for girls. It's for adults.
I mean, we actually got it through Frightday. I'm just saying. Like, it was actually a real connection.
Yeah. 16-year-old Izzy leads an isolated life on a lonely mountaintop. All she's learned is from her protective mom and the wilderness that swallows them. Questioning her illness and starved for companionship, Izzy sneaks down the mountain where she befriends Brazen Amber. Izzy is in heaven until a cruel drinking game with a live worm unleashes a new kind of hunger. Confused and scared, Izzy appeals to Mom for answers, but Mom's secrets are as old and dark as the bloodline from which they're born, and her grip is tight. Nature can only sleep for so long, and when it wakes, it's hungry as hell. The Adams Family.
Okay, that was just...
What? You don't snap when you say it?
No.
There's a single D. Adams. Move over Gomez, Morticia, and the children. There's a new spooky and kooky family in town. I did write all this, and after you called me out, it feels worse.
It was a great joke. I love the Adams Family.
Jesus Christ. So they're not new. However, Toby Poser, her husband John Adams, and their daughters Zelda and Lulu, they make up Wonder Wheel Productions. This is from their website. Wonder Wheel. Wait, what are you going to say? It's a good name?
Yeah, it's a fun name.
It epitomizes a can-do attitude towards independent filmmaking. As cast and crew, they write, act, and shoot. They produce, direct, edit, and score. They're a small team up for a wildly creative ride. In 2010, the family bought a camera and some mics, and they hit the American highway. Befriending coastlines, mountains, and deserts, they shot Wonder Wheel's first feature film, Rumble Strips, a fictional tale of how one family navigates loss, love, and an impeding prison sentence.
Ooh.
Their second feature, Knuckle Jack, is a tale of small-town life, lovable losers, and larceny, shot in New York's Catskill Mountains. I've always wanted to visit the Catskills.
Yeah, me too. Different reasons, though, like Dirty Dancing related for me.
Don't know anything about that. Third feature, The Shoot, a dark commentary on fame, fashion, and rock and roll, was shot in downtown London and the contrasting desert reaches of Joshua Tree. That's fun. They're going all over the place. Fourth feature, Halfway to Zen, a portrait of a banged-up family that reunites despite some crappy odds, revisits upstate New York. All the films had successful runs on the independent film circuit, winning awards, including jury and audience awards, coast to coast, and overseas.
You trying to say toast to toast.
I did almost, yeah. It's just a reference to our program where you get wasted and talk about movies. And then things get darker, and the team stepped into my radar. The movie, though, that isn't on their list on their website, what was that you were talking about?
The Hated.
The Hated?
The Hated.
So that's not on their website. I'm sure
wonder
it is
why.
somewhere, but I don't know. The film where I first heard about these guys was called The Deeper You Dig.
Okay, and that's the one that Robert Englund
Egger?
No, England, whatever. Freddy Krueger.
Robert Englund.
It was just a lightly pronounced.
I don't think you pronounced it right.
I didn't.
Was he in that?
No, but he was giving shout outs to how great it was.
Well, a lot of people liked it, including one of our writers, Jacob, who is a member of the Frightday Society.
Hey, Jacob, thanks for telling me to watch that one.
He wrote a review for it. We covered the release on Frightday.com, the trailer, and
Why didn't we watch it for the show?
Well, a bit embarrassing. I found it to be what I saw looked too amateurish for my taste.
Oh, bet I would have loved it.
Maybe. I've heard really, really good things. I mean, it got picked up and distributed by Dark Sky Films, and it ran, pretty successfully across VOD platforms. I'm sure it had some sort of limited theatrical. But yeah, you know me, Kelly. Sometimes I let aesthetics get in the way of a good movie.
You do.
I get stuck on book covers.
But then luckily this one was really pretty, so you're able to watch this one.
After watching this film, I definitely want to work backwards. I want to watch The Deeper You Dig.
Okay, good.
Tonight's film, Hellbender, snatched up by Shudder ahead of its premiere at the 25th Annual Fantasia Film Festival. And, Zelda got a lot of attention this year, the youngest daughter in this. There's a Vogue article that got written about her. It's called This 18-Year-Old Filmmaker and Gucci Model Has Reinvented the Concept of Home Movies. There's going to be a link for that in the show notes of this episode.
Of course there is. They got a cool New York Times piece about the whole fam.
Really? I didn't see that one. But
it's very interesting because the parents have a very unorthodox background.
I heard that they met in New York City, that the dad asked the mom to go to a punk concert.
Well, they met at a punk concert.
Is that what it was? Maybe it was a first date punk concert situation?
Yeah. Then Lulu was
brought into this world?
Well, Lulu was, growing. And so they were like, we should get married. And then they got married.
Oh, that's nice. And then
she wore a red
came
dress
at some point.
She wore a red dress for the wedding because she knew that, I think she said,
I
figured
Zelda.
the cat was out of the bag.
Oh, that's fun. That would be Toby Poser, is the mother.
Yep, but both of them were actors, models, voice actors.
Yeah, John Adams was a pretty successful model, it appears. He was...
but then he got lymphoma.
Really? So he was for Gucci, Armani, and Calvin Klein in the 90s.
Yep, but then he got lymphoma and had to spend 10 months doing chemo.
Wow.
And his career kind of got off track, so then he decided to start a rock band called Banana Fish Zero.
That's fun. I like that.
It's a jam, bam, bam. Everybody slamming. It's a scam, sham. Here we go again, yeah.
Yep, and he would perform at bars in New York in his underwear.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, I guess that's what you do if you're like an underwear model and you can't do it anymore. Then you just form a band and you perform the songs in your underwear instead.
Yeah. I mean, Toby and John. Toby's an actress. When they lived in L.A., John worked in reality TV.
Well, they were bouncing back and forth because they got this land in upstate New York.
In the Catskills,
Yep, and it was actually land that belonged to his parents when they started building on it.
Cool.
Basically used his own carpentry skills and started building this really simple shack. They were making ends meet based on Toby's voice acting gigs.
Really?
Yeah, and apparently like every time she'd get a check, they'd be like, okay, we can pour the foundation now. Okay, we can buy windows.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so they've got Lulu, then Zelda came around.
And Zelda, I should say that article in Vogue was written, I think, highlighting her work with the family as well as becoming a model herself for Gucci, which is pretty,
I've got my own feelings.
I know you have feelings, but that's, undeniably an achievement,
I think that her filmmaking is a much bigger achievement.
Well, time will tell, of course.
Filmmaking takes skill. Not just the way you look, talent.
I've seen enough episodes of America's Next Top Model to know that it's not just looking good.
No. But I'm just saying.
Yes. Well, let's move forward into this.
I mean, like Fessenden. You can look like Fessenden and make great movies.
It's funny that you bring him up because that's kind of the energy that I get from this family. Scrappy in their filmmaking.
They are very scrappy.
And I got that from early Fessenden work as well.
They also they seem, very, very unorthodox. They were moving back and forth between New York and LA. Mm-hmm. And then finally, that's when they decided that they were going to make rumble strips. But what I find interesting is a lot of that was driven by the fact that Mama of the house couldn't get work because she was almost 40.
You got to make the work.
And in an industry that treats you as nothing more than a face, you don't get to have as much say in your career, especially if you don't have giant clout by the time you hit that age. Somebody like Reese Witherspoon can bend things a little bit more her direction because she's got a lot of power, but she started her own production company and stuff and was able to become popular when she was young so that she was still able to get work when she was old and hopefully rewrite some of that narrative for women in Hollywood. But anyhow, so that's where the first movie came about. I mean, it's pretty interesting. You had mentioned that Lulu, the older sister, was in college.
I don't know if she's in college. I know that she's in Florida now.
Okay, so she went to college at Lewis and Clark, which I thought was really interesting.
Where's that?
It's in Portland.
Okay.
It's a real popular one. With
I only mentioned Lulu because I guess up until this point she had been more hands-on in the making of these films, but now this film, it's just written and directed by Zelda, mom and dad.
And I get the sense that that's because most of it was done while she was away at college.
Doing whatever. Okay.
So Byron, you let me know that it starts off real slow. And
I didn't
so
say slow. I don't
like,
think I said slow. I said, you know how I said that I didn't want to cover The Deeper You Dig because it felt a little amateurish? Some of that is still here. It's just there's a certain charm at maybe minute 20 where I kind of like embraced what the film was and moved past it, I guess.
It was just funny because when I turned it on and I was like, wait, what?
Well, because it opens with a witch hanging.
Yeah, and like a shooting and then some like intestinal eatings.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what, Byron?
I might have not.
Slow?
I could have clarified my thoughts a
Yeah,
little
but
bit
now
better.
I do get what you...
Because although, I mean, Zelda and Toby are mother and daughter in real life,
Yes.
it still felt a little uncomfortable at the beginning with the establishing of the characters.
I didn't feel like it was uncomfortable.
Well, I'm a bit more sensitive.
I also work with a lot of teenage girls and their mothers and that relationship. And also, like, I was a crazy teenage daughter at one point.
Were you?
I mean, yeah, I was awful. I mean, I didn't do drugs, but I was awful in all the other ways.
Does it open with their band playing? Do I want to get
it does.
this out of the way?
Well, after the slow open.
Of course.
Yeah.
The slow open.
I'm a bad luck penny, and I'm born to rip. Cut you down! Rip it! Cut! Rip it! Rip it! Cut! Rip it!
Oh, I love it! But you know what's missing, don't you? Little bass solo? No. What?
I have a pet peeve, and I'll get all the pet peeves out of the way. When people don't know how to play drums or play drums well, and they play drums on screen, like as someone who knows how to play drums and has been in bands before, it's really easy to spot. And it's just, I guess, another thing that can suck me out real quick. Like, I'm not saying Zelda is completely out of the loop in terms of playing drums. It was just pretty obvious that wasn't her primary instrument. It wasn't like, because I know that they did record the soundtrack to this, which I enjoyed quite a bit of, this band that her mother and her have.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, but it was like no Jack White on a guitar, or
You get
like
the
Tom
fuck
Morello
out.
on a
I'm
guitar.
gonna just walk out, okay? And also, I'm not really into bass and drum bands. Like, Mother's playing bass and Izzy's on the drums. So it was just like,
Anything from town? Some bass strings.
all right, we'll get there. Maybe, probably not.
It was great.
That was great. So that took me out for a second, but I guess we're quickly learning a little bit about the relationship between Mother and Izzy. Izzy is told that she can't go to town.
I'm making the trip to town tomorrow. You want anything?
Can I come? Can I have some charcoal pencils and drumsticks, please?
Sure. Hey, that was good practice tonight.
Yeah.
Love you, Iz.
Love you.
Kind of like a my heart but can't beat unless you tell it to type situation.
Which is why I was like, she's a vampire or she's a werewolf.
All right, well, maybe we'll learn quickly what the situation is. But Izzy is told that she's sick and she can't go to town, and I'm sure that she's been told this most of her life, all of her life. So it kind of makes the question a little bit interesting why she's asking that now, but it's pretty obvious that she's becoming more of a woman and is craving the independence that she's so desperately needing.
Yeah.
She sneaks out while her mom's gone and goes and enjoys the forest a little bit. It's pretty obvious what the situation is. It's a witchy type family, Kelly.
I mean, they are pretty witchy. So a couple interesting things to give some family tethers to this story in the real Adams family.
Oh, talking about Toby?
Yeah. Well, number one, you probably read about the part with her cancer.
I didn't actually, which is interesting.
Oh, okay. Well, we can talk about that too. So she
Toby
found out...
got cancer too?
Yeah. She found out she had been a donor baby
I knew that.
Her mom confessed this on her deathbed, and her mom said, yeah, we have no idea who your biological father is.
On the deathbed?
Yeah, and so that really freaked her out, and obviously has themes present in this movie.
Yeah.
Also, when they first started shooting, she found out she had endometrial cancer and had to have a hysterectomy.
Dang. Okay. I mean, that's a lot of...
Yeah. So she talks about how this became a very personal thing, even writing the story, because... she was done having kids probably, but still there's
a part of losing your ability.
Right, and just losing your power.
It's the thing that you can do as a woman.
Right. And I think that she was feeling that way, and so that also comes into play in the themes of the movie.
Yeah, a lot of later half stuff, but I think we can definitely talk a bit about...
Yeah.
I mean, you as a mother, too, your children are almost out the door, right?
Oh, God.
No, but
days.
that's a fear that you're going to have to address at some point,
Sam, we do need to have a third kid. Sam,
stop! Don't do this to him. Don't do it to him. While on one of these excursions, Izzy goes to a neighbor's house.
Hey! I see you! You big bird! AJ! I'm gonna fuck you up! Whoa! You're not AJ!
Sorry. I'm Izzy. Amber. I'm your neighbor. I live up on that mountain.
Which mountain?
That mountain.
Well, that's news to me. You want to be our neighbor?
Yeah, she shouldn't. She's not supposed to talk to anyone.
Well, but she meets Amber, who's played by Lulu Adams, which is her sister in real life. But
well, are you going to be creepy or are you going to come over?
Amber is at a pool, very nice pool. I haven't seen a big pool like that.
It's a good pool.
Yeah.
Are you going to sit the fuck down or what? I'm sick.
What, do you got an STD? I'm just fucking with you. Sit.
I can't get close to people.
None of us can.
I'll sit.
It is not her pool. It's a
Turns
pool.
out, no.
Belongs to some idiots.
Rotary at home. I got a babysitting gig tonight.
What? This isn't your home?
You thought I lived here? No fucking way. I just sneak in and use their pool. Somebody's got to use it. They're idiots. They'll never know.
Which is a fun word.
That was fun.
I like that word a lot.
City idiots. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is the first time that Izzy's really experienced. I mean, I guess in the movie, I'm sure that she's talked to strangers at some point in her life, right?
I mean, but not many, it seems.
No, very uncomfortable sequence. But also, that's where Zelda's acting chops really kind of turn on in this.
Yeah. Did you notice something that in the scenes that were shot with Lulu, they're always like a decent distance away from each other?
Yeah, yeah.
Fun fact, she came home to help with this movie after they came up with the idea.
Cool.
But it was the middle of the pandemic, and she wasn't part of their pod. And so they had to do stuff at a distance because they were, thank God, taking it seriously.
That's really interesting. I hadn't considered that at all.
Fascinating, eh?
It's funny because a lot of the times I am quickly internally alerted to if it's a pandemic movie, but I didn't even think about that with this one. So that says something about
they did it, about
what they're doing.
Well, they wrote it in well enough that it wasn't. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because Izzy's mom told her that she had X-linked severe combined immunodeficiency disorder, which when she comes back later for this pool party to meet a couple other folks, one of them is in med school and is like,
that only happens to dudes.
Usually to dudes. And people don't live past 5 months. So.
Yeah, but you're like superhuman.
I guess.
And a dude.
She is kind of a superhuman dude, Kelly, because
she's self-reproducing.
Well, we'll get to that for heck's sake.
Hex.
All right. So she's at this party. Have you ever been to a party where people like pour tequila and
with worms
put
in
an earthworm in it?
Nope. Never done that.
One random cup got the earthworm, and she just so happened to get that as well.
But she's a vegan, real strict one.
I'm vegetarian.
You were a vegetarian. Now you're a wormitarian.
Oh, come on, guys. Leave her alone. I'll have the worm.
No, them's the rules. You get the worm, you eat the worm. Come on, kid. It'll give you superhuman strength.
Hold your nose. You won't even taste it.
But she decided, since she's, being pressured by peers, of course.
Yep.
It's time to drink this worm. She does it. She has a pretty negative reaction. And it happens at a pretty inopportune time as the Sidiots come back home, and everyone has to kind of run. And she's having this really gnarly reaction to having eaten this worm. I guess turns off her friendship with Amber real quick when she tries to strangle her. It was a light strangle, let's be honest.
It was very light.
It wasn't that bad.
Could have been going any number of directions.
Sure.
Really. Like, who knows?
But that bloody bodacious earthworm, it really upset her belly and mind, I guess. Yeah. Is it at this point, though? I mean, she kind of comes clean to her mother about the changes that she's feeling.
Kind of comes clean.
They have a discussion about how...
Well, yeah, but it turns out that she really didn't come very clean at all.
Why you keep alluding to the finale of this? Stop.
We find out very quickly that she didn't come fully clean. It's hinted at that she didn't come fully clean.
But at this point, we learn the history of their family from the mother. A partial history.
Yeah, we learn a partial history.
That magic comes from fear and death and pumping blood. So when she ate this worm, that's why she, as a Hellbender... Which is a sort of demon. It's been around since
it's like a demon witch
times.
Combo.
Yeah,
it's
which is interesting.
Cool.
I don't know if it's a real thing because when I looked up Hellbender, it's just about a foot long salamander.
Oh, I know it's that too. I'm sure it's a real thing.
You think so?
I don't know. Seems like it should be if it isn't.
I don't know. I mean, if not, it's really interesting lore that they've created. How are they able to eat the things that they were before?
Because they're witchy.
So they're eating raspberry roots and moss.
Well, yeah, but she's been there with her mom since she was 5, so she wouldn't know that that's not normal.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was really interesting visually to see these plates of things that they'd foraged, which are like pine cones and branches. It's pretty cool. I like that. And for someone who didn't really enjoy the cinematography initially, it really did grow on.
Huh?
No, I didn't. I liked it as it went on. I also like the practical effects. A lot of dark red mouth blood in this.
Yeah, lots of very deep, thick blood.
Was she nicking
guts.
the inside of her mouth with her fingernail?
Yep.
It's a cool move.
It was a cool
Never
move.
seen that before.
I mean, it's a really good idea because your mouth heals fast.
It does, yeah.
And you can get a whole lot out of there. Of course, then you got to taste it.
Come on, it's just salty and not that bad, right?
I just like it.
Okay, well, blood is
I feel like I recognize the mom from something, though.
Okay, I mean...
Did you recognize her from
Not
anything?
really, I guess. No?
All right, well, then never mind.
With her mother, she decides, I guess with her mother's assistance, they begin experimenting a little bit. Branching out her palate.
Well, and it's very clear that there is this crazy power that comes from taking the life of something else.
Yeah.
Which is why her mother has had her as a vegan for so long. But it's also why...
Is her mom also limiting her food as well? Like, I guess, I mean, yes, I assume. I'm just saying, like, are we not seeing something? Like...
Yeah, her mom has very deliberately strangled that part of herself as well.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't want...
She knows what could happen.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that she has a complicated relationship with her mother. The mom does.
Oh, yeah, she does have a complicated relationship with her mother. Yeah. And she wants to make sure that her relationship with her daughter is very different from that.
Yes.
Not gonna...
The way that they handle themes of... I mean, this is definitely... I don't know, as a guy, I can recognize that this is a story of women coming of age and mothers dealing with that as well.
Well, and it is, I guess... Yeah, I think there are a whole lot of themes in here. A whole lot of themes.
I mean, I'm less able to speak on that.
I think that there's a whole lot about femininity in general. I think there's obviously a lot about a father's role or lack thereof, because we've got the personal story going on with Toby, and then the idea in this movie is that these Hellbenders essentially are self-procreating because the devil is the father of all of them.
Sure.
Yeah. Kind of an interesting thought there.
And that's how ferns reproduce too, with the devil.
With the devil, yeah.
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 And that's why they always die in my presence, because I'm just such a good guy.
But there's this back and forth between the mother and daughter, and there's a bit of a power struggle that's kind of subtly going on. And I think that's a lot of what you see with coming of age between
with that sort of rebellion story. Yeah. Which is, I mean, when it comes to young ladies rebelling, it's a little different when it's a Hellbender
Yeah, Hellbender does make it very, very different.
You can start seeing that her powers are changing, becoming more focused. Even small lines like when the mom is standing outside the door waiting to talk to her daughter, she says, "Through the door, I can hear you hearing me." The dreams that they've been kind of
lucid dreaming, astral projecting,
which
catching up with each other.
That was a really cool device in this to
Yeah.
further explain the Hellbender lore, which I liked. And when they trip out on eating things like worms, that white room where they're barfing on each other with the blood, that was really fun.
The whole thing was very well done and seemed to be much more polished than I was expecting.
Totally.
Coming into a homemade family movie.
Yeah, and I think that's why I left feeling so positive about this.
Yes, me too.
I mean, there were certainly some elements, like I mentioned up top, that I thought were a little bit lacking, like the music as a theme. If you're going to continually come back to this they're in a band together thing,
Yes.
I don't know, maybe like don't fake play drums on it repeatedly.
You know what's so funny? I think that's something that you would notice.
Maybe. So maybe it worked.
It didn't stick out to me, but
Yeah.
I also wasn't looking that closely
Sure.
at those portions.
And I did like the songs. I think that they did a good job with that. And as the story fleshed out, I think that the characters' relationship became a little bit stronger when at the beginning it felt a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe they shot in order or something. And,
Yeah.
it could be one of those types of situations. But as someone who was pretty hesitant to jump into the Adams family work, I was pleasantly surprised with this quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
For those reasons, I guess I can say, I give Hellbender 6.7 bass strings.
I think I might have liked this movie more than you, Byron. I think the whole mother-daughter thing is both personally relevant and also just relevant to what I see a lot of the time. And then I do love witches, and I love the Catskills. I love the idea of this movie, and it made me want to go make a movie with my family. So
you got a whole crew downstairs. Let's wake them up.
Yeah, let's
Come on,
get
kids.
them. We can get the grandparents. See, that's what this doesn't have. This doesn't have any grandparents in.
Yeah.
I feel like we could get the grandparents in. I'm glad to hear that they will be making one more horror movie before Zelda ships off to college. Because
Is that true?
It is.
Ooh.
It's their third horror movie. And I mean, they may do more as a family too, but Zelda's most likely going to college in New York. And she's about to finish up and head that direction.
I think she might break big.
I just hope that
with the Gucci modeling.
I hope that the things that normally happen to models don't happen to her. I really hope. I give this movie 8.2 drops of huckleberry tears to make your vision better.
And those are our thoughts, of course, on Hellbender, which is available now exclusively on Shudder. I don't know when it's going to be out on VOD, but I mean, of course,
Just get Shudder.
Get Shudder. What the hell are you thinking?
Yeah,
It's
the
not like
next
Kelly
one-
uses my account.
No.
Not even a little.
No. The next one's is set in the Great Depression.
You know, I'm not a huge fan of
Love
period
pieces.
piece, but
Love them.
let's see what they can do with it. I want to know what you think about Hellbender. Reach out to us on Twitter, Instagram. It's at Frightday. You can send us an email, contact@frightday.com. We can have a talk about it in the Facebook group, facebook.com/group/Frightday, which I don't fucking like it there. I'm hanging out at discord.frightday.com. I said it. Go to Discord, folks.
Yeah. Okay.
Hanging on Zuckerbuck's website. That's what Mike Lindell calls it.
Doesn't he own Discord too?
Bezos owns Discord.
Oh, great. So much better.
Now he owns Twitch. Who owns Discord? I don't know. I forgot. Kelly. Shop.frightday.com, of course. It's where you can get all kinds of stuff. T-shirts.
Is that more sauce?
These are two different hot sauces that we're sampling for our follow-up to, of course, Gates of Hell Chipotle hot sauce, which who knows if it's available right now.
It'd make me sick.
Very likely sold out, but we're a hot sauce company now at shop.frightday.com.
When are you making those fucking tea towels?
Tea towels coming soon. Lots of stuff, but go there, of course. You heard early in the episode, we were talking about cult.frightday.com, the Frightday Society, the FDS. Join it if you want more of this, or if you just like what we're doing, you get bonus episodes of Captain Kelly's Cryptids and Conspiracies, Byron Serial Corner, The Writer's Room, Toast to Toast, PM with Wine Kelly, and a weekly episode of Behind the Screams, which of course is the show behind the show. In all March, we're doing IFC Midnight Madness, the bracket-style competition to determine the best thing that IFC Midnight has released. That was intense, Kelly. IFC Midnight Madness. I see you're looking at your phone instead of paying attention.
I was reading...
Ukraine stuff?
No, I was reading up on comments from the last 2 months from people on Discord.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fun. Maybe do that later.
Okay.
And more frequently.
I know.
I'm unsure.
Am I doing a pinky of each of these or what?
You don't need to taste them, I guess, but
Well,
if
you
you'd
said
like
we need
to.
do taste test.
I just didn't know if you want to do that right now.
All right, may as well. No time like the present.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Here we go. We're going to just do one little...
Cinema Autopsy.
little dabble
We're
do
dropping
there.
one of those with The Abyss, where Kelly yelled at me about nuclear weapons.
Are nuclear weapons scary? Apparently, I'm dumb because I think they
The
are.
first 10 episodes of Frightday, you can get those too at cult.frightday.com.
Ooh, interesting. This one has this thing on top of it.
Yeah,
The
see,
other one
that is more of a...
Is this liquidy?
That's more of like a cayenne, almost a
hold on.
Tabasco-y.
Hold on, are we ready?
Sure, I
You ready?
guess.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to. What one did you start with? Yeah.
That's
you did
terrible.
the wrong thing.
That's the worst thing I've ever had.
So that's called a Hotter Than Hell. That's a ghost pepper that you led with.
Fuck me.
Why did you do that? It's 70% ghost pepper
Fucking
extract.
shit, it's gross.
Oh, no.
It makes me want to drink that whole bottle now. Oh.
Jesus. Okay, well, we should probably end the show really quick.
This one.
Kelly and Tell.
I am not having my face on this one.
Well, it's different.
It tastes like regurgitated vomit blended with ghost pepper.
You heard that here first, folks.
Oh my god.
Oof, it is hot. It is very hot.
It's not that it's gross in addition to being hot.
We have a case of this
Yeah,
already.
don't sell that.
Oh, no.
Don't let anyone buy that.
Well, I have to.
Don't give it to anyone either.
Well,
You taste that yet?
I have. It's not that bad.
It's awful.
It's pretty good. You're not really selling it. Jumping chips in your mouth. This is a nightmare.
It hurts.
That didn't go the way I thought it should.
It hurts so bad.
That didn't go well.
Hold on, I got some
Kelly,
kernels
until
down here.
next week, where are you going to be?
pouring fucking bleach on my tongue.
Jeez, that might taste worse. All right, dumping a bunch of seeds in her mouth. What are you, a hellbender? Come on. All right. What a chaotic ending to this one, huh?
It's all burning.
Yeah, at Kelly Frightday on Twitter, and Instagram's different, but kelly@frightday.com is your email address.
Oh
yeah.
my god, it's not going away.
No, it doesn't.
It's never going away.
Yeah, the pain stays. This is your life now. And I'm at Byron McKoy on Twitter and Instagram, byron@frightday.com, of course. It's my email address.
Don't let anyone eat that.
Well, it's going to be for sale pretty soon here. And until next Friday, where we're going to be talking Montauk.
Oh, God.
I'm Byron.
Oh, hi.
Hotter Than Hell, coming soon.
It hurts so bad.
And stay. You've been listening to an Audio Wool original, produced by Byron McKoy, theme music provided by Cemeteries. For more programs like this, visit audiowool.co.